everyone, and good morning. Welcome to our live feed update for August 13th. I'm your host, Taran Armstrong, and I'm here today to update you on everything that happened yesterday on the Big Brother 26 live feeds. It was day 28 in the house, and there was a veto ceremony. There was a potential replacement nomination. And some other stuff.
Yeah,
There's some other stuff. Not the best day. Not the best day, AJ. With me to talk about it is AJ. How you doing, AJ?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here. This is, I think, one of the easier days of the season so far. So, happy to talk about all the lack of drama and interesting gameplay. Like, honestly, on paper, I feel like this week should be interesting and this vote should be interesting. And based on yesterday, it's not.
So far, it is not. Yes. Of course, as you all know at this point, Angela won the HOH, but Quinn is the actual deepfake HOH. Quinn nominated volunteer Cedric, MJ, and Tucker for eviction. Tucker then won the veto. There was a whole thing about whether he will use the veto or not use the veto on himself. I can confirm to you now, the veto ceremony did take place yesterday, and he did, in fact, use the veto on himself, and Rubina went up as the replacement nominee. So that is where things stand. Now, we've talked about this already. We talked about it last night. I talked about it yesterday. Theoretically, this should be an interesting vote because if Cedric wins the AI Arena competition, it will be Rubina versus MJ. And the collective collectively has an interest, I think, to take out Rubina. They all want Tucker gone. And Rubina is one of Tucker's closest allies, whereas MJ is not really. In fact, MJ is more a number for Chelsea and Brooklyn, who are the two people who have the most influence in the house. And you do pretty quickly see that Chelsea is like, well, we should vote Rubina out over MJ. But with just minimal pushback from Quinn, she kind of backed down. And the consensus right now seems to be we will vote out MJ if she's still on the block.
No, and like, here's the wild thing. When you say minimal, it was literally minimal pushback. Like, I thought like Chelsea was actually coming to her senses, not at the final noms where there was like, actually, MJ is good for me. She was like, not cute. Quinn was like, I don't know about that. And Chelsea's like, you know what? You made valid points. That's a great argument. You know what? MJ should be the person that's going home. Despite the fact that MJ staying is like so much better for Chelsea over someone like a Rubina, who is like in other people's pockets and other people do not feel you do not have the strongest relationship with Rubina. You have strong relationships with other people. So why are you just going to let other people have Rubina when you're not even trying to have Rubina? And it's frustrating to me because after listening to Chelsea, like Chelsea straight up just does not like MJ, which makes no sense to me because I don't know what MJ has done to Chelsea. Like people find like the most random stuff to complain about MJ about. Chelsea finds it, Brooklyn finds it, Leah finds it. Like MJ's like not a bad chick. Like she's like not doing like anything outrageous. Like she's literally just existing in this household, and they have it out for this girl. Like she cannot do anything right. Like remember that Tic Tac song a while back that was like, oh, look at that bitch eating chicken. That's what it is with MJ. She can just eat chicken and they're annoyed with it.
Yeah, I mean that is her that is her experience in the house. That she just does not get along with you. And you know what? I'll skip ahead a little bit. Even Leah even Leah hates her.
Why? What did Leah say? Leah was like, "Oh, I be cleaning," and then MJ starts to clean. How dare she? Like this is just a bad house for MJ. And I'm not going to say MJ's a great player, a player that has all this potential. I think MJ could be a fine player with a different cast, but like this cast has not given her a chance. And MJ made mistakes early on. Should not have been in the back room with Matt the entire first week and not making relationships with other people. Like MJ made her own mistakes, but like MJ's done nothing. Like it'll be one thing if MJ was outrageous as a person, but like they just have it out for this girl, and you know, I'm okay with MJ going this week because I don't see MJ ever getting a foothold in this game unless she like becomes a comp beast.
Yeah. I mean, I do think she's not very good at the game. Um, but yes, she also just, like, does not fit in, and there has been little allowance for her to fit in. Um,
Mhm,
and normally you would see the players like Brooklyn and Chelsea, who would who have her as a number, make an effort to include her so that she
mhm,
starts to fit in more, so that they can use her as their number, but for whatever reason, those gatekeepers have not opened those gates. And so that's where things stand. And that's partially why today is a bit boring. Partially why. There's more about why it's boring.
mhm,
But in part it's because the consensus quickly lands on MJ and isn't really leaving. The
mhm,
intrigue with this vote is there are still a couple more days for things to shift, for people to realize maybe MJ is better for my game. Maybe Rubina should leave. Um, on top of the fact that, like, there is an alliance that is very easy to spot right now, the 5 points, that people also know about, and that could also lead toward a Rubina eviction. There's also just what might happen with the AI
mhm.
arena, and then there's also, the idea of if MJ does win the AI arena, um, the plan is to vote out Rubina. Even
Mhm.
Tor and Kimo have agreed to this, and that would be very telling for Tucker.
Like it's so wild that these people are not like trying to push for what's in their best interest at this point in time because they could all be in such a better position. They could position themselves better this week to make a deep run. Instead, they are just okay with the status quo, which is psychotic because the status quo satisfied nobody in this house. Like nobody is in a better situation based on the track we're currently going on. So someone should like easily just take the reins and push it in the direction that they want it to be. Like T-Core and Kimo has all the tools, have all the knowledge to do something about it. But what are they going to do? They're going to sit in their little corner. They're going to talk about how they should do something about it. And let me tell you what they're going to do today, Taran. Spoiler alert for tomorrow, Corey. They're just going to be talking about how they should do it on Thursday. Like, because that's what they do. That's all they do. It's not interesting. And then Tucker's going to be like confused, like, why is the things not going my way? Because they're not going to push what they actually want, and they're just going to let other people dictate what they want to do in this game. It's so stupid. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah. And that's why so Tucker still thinks he has the votes to take out Cedric if he stays on the block. So, he's going to be very surprised when he doesn't. As of right now, he doesn't. Um,
And why do you think that, Tucker? Like Tucker straight up said last week, "Oh, the response that he got after winning the arena was fake. They all wanted me gone, but now that I'm here, they are all on my side, on my back today. Like nothing has changed. Their actions towards me hasn't changed. My action towards them hasn't changed. But now I have all these people that are going to do what I want. I got Rubina, I got T-Core, I got Kimo, I got Chelsea, I got Brooklyn. We got to work on Leah and MJ. Tucker, where were these soldiers last week? But not like tell me.
yeah, I think people tend to be very bad at recognizing, and I think this is in general, but like very bad at recognizing the impact of structures, the impact of like external factors on how people operate around them, right?
Mhm,
And so some of that translates to very serious stuff, but some of that also translates to somebody like Tucker not recognizing, maybe even we can relate it to serious stuff, the privilege of his position,
mhm,
of being who he is in this game, winning competitions, and being somebody that has now won a veto, and the fact that people will just suck up to him in the
mhm,
moment to stay on his good side, and he doesn't recognize that they're only doing this because they're afraid that he's gonna win a competition rather than, a genuine desire to work with him. And so, when Tucker has, like, maybe, like, Angela is coming to him with a genuine
mhm.
strategic desire to work with him. Chemo's coming to him with a crush.
Yep.
And Joseph is coming to him with a fear that he might win something and he wants to be good with him. And so there's a
Mhm.
bunch of different motivations, and I don't think Tucker is able to distinguish those motivations. I think he just always thinks it's like, well, yeah, they love me. They want to work with me.
And like I respect it, I get it, because that's how Big Brother usually works. Like the people who keeps winning the competitions, X, Y, and Z gets all the people that are surrounding them, and the alliance forms, and things works out well for them. Like that's how it worked in the past. Like Tucker actively turns down working with people. Like these past couple of weeks, he's actively been like, "No, I don't want to talk game. I don't want to work with you." X, Y, and Z. And then when Tucker has information, he does crazy stuff with it. He's not a stable person in this game. Like he's not like the person that I'm like looking forward to be like, you know what, this person's going to be a steady force. He's going to make the right decision. They are playing in fear of this man. I don't know why he wasn't backdoor this week. I understand he could play in the AI arena, but like they were talking about today, well, looks like next week got to try to backdoor him. And then the week after that, if he stays, they got to backdoor him again. Like that's going to be the story until he's actually backdoored, until he wins the game. Because that's also the wild thing. Because like people don't dislike Tucker. People like Tucker. People respect Tucker. So if he goes on this comp win, guys, Tucker's going to win the game.
Right. And yeah, that's where it is. This house somehow, I don't like, AJ, you tell me.
Hit me.
Have I just gotten older? Because I'm confused. Like, is this how the kids nowadays talk? That they're just constantly talking about crushes? We're like 28 days in, and we're still, crushes are a main topic of conversation.
Like, it makes no sense. Like, you've been in there for 28 days. You should have either did something or tuck that away. Throw that away. Like, full stop. Like, like stop talking about it. Stop being like, oh, I heard Joseph thinks this person is attractive. Oh, I like this person, but you know, oh, Leah running around, she acting like she loves all these guys, but we all know she likes Tucker. Like, guys, is there literally nothing else going on in the house? Because I know there's stuff going on. Like there's crazy people in this house like Tucker, like Angela. Like y'all can be stirring up mess and drama. We do not need to be on this kitty like relationship stuff. Like grow up, grow a pair. Like either do something about it or shut up about it. I'm tired of hearing it.
AJ is on one today.
These people upset me by doing nothing.
Listen, I'm with you. And yeah, I mean, there's some people in the chat like, oh, like, yeah, Leah, right? Like, no, it's not just Leah. It's like literally all of them.
I would love it to be just Leah. Then it could be like, okay, the Leah corner. But literally every last one of them, like they're all talking about it.
Like Cedric and Quinn had a crush conversation yesterday. Like Joseph has had crush conversations. You know, like Chelsea is talking about. Like it's all over the place. It's all of them.
Like it breaks my heart. It breaks my soul. There could be so much fun, interesting stuff happening, and this is what y'all are stuck on. Like play damn it, Taran, they're in the game. Play the goddamn game or do something else. like please.
Oh boy. So there was another topic of conversation that Brooklyn had for Chelsea because she had a bit of a secret to reveal. These two have been working together. AJ, did you know that Brooklyn, the dancer, she what was the team? I forget the team. I didn't write it down. She danced for a team.
Dallas? Was it Dallas? I think it was
that. Yeah, it probably doesn't matter.
But like, I think she danced for Dallas or something like that. I forgot.
Something like that. It was like a sports team.
It was a hockey, so I was like, fair. I don't do that. Oh, Tampa. Okay. But either way, like, and someone's like, I knew you were hiding something. You had that musical note tattoo behind your ear. Like, I knew it. I should.
I saw somebody say this was big, like Bronte vibes.
It really was, because like you being a dancer literally has no impact on me. Like, pause. That was another thing they were talking about. Like, what are y'all lying about? Like, like they was like, Kimo, you can't sell mattresses. That's not your job. Right. Cedric, you're not 21. You're 19. You're a social media. You're lying about how many followers you have. Like, what is happening? What's the tea? Tell me the tea. And then they whisper it right beside each other in the ear, just for the next person to say it out loud. Like, why are we whispering?
Um,
It's so,
this is
it's
what
so
a
dumb.
cracked up day today. Uh, there was I thought a funny conversation between Quinn and Joseph. Quinn being his typical Quinn self.
Mhm.
He's the cameras cut into him talking to the cameras with Joseph in the bedroom,
Mhm.
being like, "This guy's throwing competitions. I know it." Quinn voice just broke me. um, and Joseph is like, "Whoa,
Mhm.
whoa, no, no. Do you really think I am? I'm genuinely not. I'm like actually sucking. I've been trying my hardest." And Quinn's like, "Oh, yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, totally. That's no, no, really though, really though. I'm not throwing competition. You have to trust me." It's like, "Okay, okay, yeah, yeah, I do, I do." It's Quinn. I don't know if you've
Mhm.
seen it, but Taran has said that winning competitions is the best way to win a jury. I understand this. I should be
Mhm.
winning competitions. I've been trying. And Quinn's like, yeah, okay, yeah, I did. I mean, listen, we both watched Corey Street. I'm just like Joseph. This is exactly what we said when you both talked about watching Corey's stream. You both agreed that you both had seen the advice of don't tell people you're throwing competitions and just throw
Mhm.
them. And now you're trying to be like, whoa, I'm not throwing Quinn. Like,
Like, because that was the wild thing. Like, y'all already admitted to each other in the past. Now you're trying to backstep, backpedal. Like, baby, like, just be open and honest if that's the kind of relationship you'll have. And secondly, I'll be honest with you. Everyone in the future, stop throwing competitions. It does not help you like you think it does. Throwing competitions is not as good as a game strategy as it was. Dr. Will, amazing, 5-star player. Throwing competitions does not work anymore.
Dr. Will threw competitions in season 2, aka the first season it ever happened. This with the strategic game. There was also no veto competition that season, which made that strategy more viable. Dr. Will lost season 7 because he couldn't win a competition.
Like it's makes no sense. It's foolish. I think people think it's cool that they can do it. That's not what juries respect nowadays, at least the people they're casting. And secondly, like you're not being able to willpower or nothing. Like the only reason, like I believe truly you should throw a competition is when you are in such a good position that like you putting up anyone could ruin your house of cards. And let me tell you something, Taryn. Nobody is in that position. Nobody is. So try
Exactly.
your hardest. Get because let me tell you something. There is people in this house that needs to go for someone, and so you win that competition and take that person out to better your position in the game. Take that, build an alliance that you can actually trust because they don't trust none of their alliances. Like for some reason, so build something that you can trust, make something you can go deep in the game with, and stop just sitting here and talking about how you're not winning. Because let me tell you something, Tucker's gonna love to win. Tucker wants to break that record so bad. And guess what? We don't want to. Well, pause. I want Tucker in power because he's going to do fun stuff with it. But y'all don't want Tucker in power.
Yeah. I'm just like I'm thinking cuz listen, and I've we talked about this plenty of times
Hit
before.
me.
But like there are absolutely times where it does make sense to throw a competition,
Yeah.
especially to an ally. You can create a perception, but
Yes.
like, do not think that like, oh, well, if Dan Giesling did it, I should do it. So many people have thought that and failed. Dan
Yes.
Giesling broke every rule of Big Brother.
And here's the thing about Dan Giesling too. He got in trouble a lot, but he's just so good that he was able to get himself out of trouble.
Mhm.
Taryn, there's not a soul on this gosh darn cast I think is good enough to get themselves out of trouble.
Exactly. Like you are not Dan Giesling, you are not Dr. Will.
No.
Like this is it's not happening. And think about it. Like going back, right? Like the last
Mhm.
I can't like who was the last winner of the game who actively threw a lot of competitions without then maybe without winning like cuz Casey threw a few in the beginning but
Mhm.
then won like 7 or 8 7 competitions.
Mhm.
Like so then you have to keep going back. Who was actively throwing competitions for most of the season? Obviously Taylor won without needing to win many competitions, but it's not like she was actively throwing
Mhm.
a lot of them. Um, Do you have to keep going back? You have to keep going back.
Is it
And
Andy?
it's like, yeah, it's probably Andy Dan. Like, it's been 10 years.
Like,
The game has changed.
like play the game that's in front of you. Do not play the game of Big Brother that you want to play. Because let me tell you something, that's not how it works. They're going to throw all twists, turns, and psychotic people at you. So do what you gotta do.
Mhm.
Mm.
I'm
I'm
all
tired of these
right.
people. I'm tired of these people.
So Joseph talks to the cameras. He says, I've been playing both sides with my majority alliance. I've been spearheading my majority alliance. I've got my final two with Tucker. You know, like this, it's gonna work. I have multiple options for how to move forward in this game. If Tucker wins, I hope I'm good. I hope I've done enough. I think very clearly, like, he recognizes and still wants Tucker gone because he recognizes that Tucker is such a wild card that he's like,
Correct.
despite all of the work that I'm doing on
Yes.
Tucker, he could still turn around and put me up. So hopefully, in the event that he wins, I'm fine. And he has bigger fish to fry. But he says, I was lying earlier to Quinn. I am throwing comps. What? No way.
What?
No
That's
way.
insane. I could never tell. He was so convincing in that conversation, Taran. He pulled one over on me.
He says also, sometimes I hide up here because he's upstairs while everyone's downstairs. I hide up here so people forget about me. Hey, if they want to come talk to the Godfather, they can do so.
I freaking adore Joseph. Joseph is like Joseph lives in a state of delusion, and I'm so here for it. It brings me so much joy and happiness. And Quinn is just so baffled by the game that Joseph thinks he's playing, and it's like y'all both talk to the cams. Y'all both are mostly wrong, but I love that you recognize how wrong Joseph is.
Oh man. So Leah is gonna tell Rubina that she will vote to keep her. She talks
Yes.
about how she doesn't like MJ and that she copies everything she does. And she like steals her jokes and cleans that when she's cleaning and all of this stuff, right?
Yep.
There's in general though been a bit of a renewed dislike of Leah because of a conversation that happened the night before that I didn't get into yesterday. But basically, she got into, I guess you might call it a debate with Cedric. Um,
Yeah.
Debate is a bit too academic a term, perhaps, but it was not quite an argument. Because she said something along the lines, and I apologize if I am paraphrasing or misrepresenting what she was saying, because quite frankly,
It's dumb.
I think she was misrepresenting what she was saying. It was very hard to follow. But the phrase in particular that people took offense to was that she said that women were the prize in the
Yes.
relationship. And as people are pointing out in the chat, it definitely had like trad wife vibes. Lots of like, there's a natural sort of role for genders to take, and stuff like that. That was the vibe that I got. Again, honestly, she said so many words. She might have been misrepresenting herself, but I think that's the vibe that I got, and it's certainly the vibe that I think Cedric got, and he kind of took offense to it and was like, "Well, that doesn't make sense to me. I don't think that's a great way of looking at it." They started using the word juvenile, and she said, "I don't think it's juvenile." And he said, "Well, using your words, I think it's juvenile." And Cedric was saying, "I think the relationship itself is the prize, the coming together, the union of two people." And it was a big mess of a conversation. But
Like I would say
go ahead.
in Leah's defense, that was a long ass conversation.
It
Like
was.
so much was said. Like that like the prize was the thing that, like you said, was the one that got ran with it. But there was so
Mhm.
much said in that conversation. Like it wasn't a great conversation. It wasn't interesting.
Yeah,
But
that's why I didn't cover yesterday because like this isn't like a gotcha on Leah. However, it has become relevant today because the perception in the house, especially from Chelsea, um, is very much like ew. Um, and that's relevant because the target is building on Leah, especially over the day today. And I do think that this was in some ways part of that. And so it's worth noting that that people were a bit turned off by Leah's opinions about relationships and gender. Um, and uh, so even though she's telling Rubina that she wants to keep her and that she's going to be anti MJ, Chelsea is basically undoing all of that work and more by telling T-Core and eventually Rubina, like, hey, Leah, don't believe Leah. She's against you. Leah's been saying all these things. She thinks that you're all really close and that you're working together, and she really wants to take you guys out. She wants Tucker out. Like, you can't trust Leah.
I would say I do personally like that from Chelsea, what she was doing. Like even though it came out of like insane things, I think it makes people feel better about Chelsea, especially those girls, because like, okay, you're coming with me with information that I was not aware of. You're making me more aware of how other people perceive me. And so I trust you more. Because here's the thing about Chelsea. And Brooklyn, I think, are the two best position, like you said, arguably the two best players. I think Joseph could be in the conversation if he had better social skills, but that's a different story. Um, everyone's clocked Chelsea. Everyone has clocked that Chelsea is good at this and that Chelsea knows what she's doing. But it's stuff like this that makes people not want to do anything about it. It's stuff like that that makes people be like, okay, let me bring Chelsea in because Chelsea's doing things that seems like it benefits me. When in all honesty, Chelsea's doing what annoys Chelsea the most at that point in time. Like that's how Chelsea operates.
Yeah. And it's just again like the day really again just made me so convinced that it like Leah should be the one that's on the block this week. I think
No one wants her
it's just
here.
like it's just the move that would have been it's just so obvious on all fronts and it absolutely could have happened.
I don't know if the T-Core and Kimo conversation is on your to-do list today.
I mean,
It's so
it's on the to-do list,
okay, then I'll hold off.
but barely.
Still another long ass conversation of nothing.
Okay, listen, I'll say it now. I made a decision this morning.
Hit me.
My decision is I'm no longer covering T-Core and Kimo conversation.
Until they act on what they say, I think that is valid.
What I am going to cover is T-Core and Kimo actions.
Yes.
Because they talk themselves in circles endlessly for hours and then nothing ever comes of it. And it's a waste of everyone's time. Mine, yours, theirs. It's not worth talking about until they actually do something about it.
You are so right, Taran. They are basically the boy and girl who cried wolf at this point in time. Like I'm over it. I'm tired of it. Like I think that's fair. The thing that annoyed me in that conversation was they were like, Quinn made such a bad move of nominating Rubina instead of Leah when Leah talks so bad about him and she don't even like him. He's over here like in love and just not nominating him. Why is he going with his feelings? We don't know none of this. Like, I wish y'all told him. Maybe he would have made a different decision. Y'all talking about the bad decision he made. He didn't have the information. And y'all want her Leah out. You want Rubina to stay. You are currently in a situation where, based on how the competition works, Rubina will be going home, which is bad for both y'all games. Leah is good to leave. And y'all do nothing about it but bitch and moan. Get up off that couch and do something.
Quinn literally told the cameras today, like, I'm not gonna go out of my way to protect Leah. I'm not gonna risk my game for Leah. I will risk my game for the Visionaries. He would have done, I think, anything they asked. It's so ridiculous to me. Why is Rubina on the block?
No, like truly, if there was any HOH they could have had sway over, it is this one right here. And they chose to do nothing about it. Chose to do absolutely nothing. And because let me tell you something, Quinn is not playing a great game. And he would throw it away for them. He would throw it away for T-Core and Kimo. And they just sitting back and letting him do stuff. Do stuff on his own volition. Stop doing that. Quinn is not good on his own.
He literally tells them everything.
To the point where I'm like, Quinn, shut up. This is
Like,
not good for you.
Yeah, like people in the chat are like, I don't know if I believe that that's true. It's already true. He has given them everything in his game.
Like, let me tell you something. He gives them so much that they don't even remember everything that they give him. He's like, oh yeah.
They need to start taking notes.
Like,
I can give them some advice on that.
Like, oh Jesus.
Oh man.
Mm.
So one thing T-Core did say last night, which I thought was very fun.
Okay.
She started talking about she was telling this to Rubina. She was like, hey, I think Angela's a problem. She just keeps making stuff up and telling Tucker and then getting Tucker riled up, and then he starts believing made up stuff. And then the two, like I literally just saw Tucker come out of the bathroom with Angela with a smile on his face. And it was that Tucker smile of like, I'm up to no good. And it's just like, this is bad.
Like, honestly, the combination of Angela and Tucker is both the best and worst thing that could ever happen in the world because Angela legit makes stuff up whole cloth. Like, she said there was this alliance with Chelsea and Leah, MJ, Cedric, and I'm like, wait a minute, they don't like these people. This is not a grouping. And she was like, and they said I love you to each other. What? What? And now Tucker's ready to burn the house down because of that. He's ready to burn it all.
Yeah. I mean, it's a genuine threat because Angela does make stuff up and she might just like at some point be like, Tucker, T-Core and Joseph are in a showmance. You need to take them out. Like, who knows what she comes up with? And then Tucker will be like, no, you're wrong. It's T-Core and Cam. Like, they just feed off of each other.
You are not wrong. Oh, it's so much fun.
So it gets sillier because later in the night, I call them 4 points because they're the people that are actually in the alliance. It's the 5 points minus Brooklyn. It's Tucker, Rubina, T-Core, and Kimo. The 4 points are upstairs in the loft area, and Angela is in her HOH room. And they're talking, and she knows they're there, of course. And let me see, I don't know if I can properly show this, but she is on the ground at the door listening. Let me see if I can.
Like, okay, Taran has walked back. He is laying on his ground next to his couch. Ear is on the couch while he is laying on the ground. Pretty accurate to what Angela's doing to the door.
So then she gets up and is like, oh, what's going to happen? She goes out, she walks out of the door, and the conversation kind of like switches, right? Like to like, oh, we're just chit-chatting. She walks straight up to the group. And she goes, Can I please be a part of this? I have the clip.
But if that gets on,
Let's do the wash a couple more times.
Please be part of this, please.
Oh,
yeah.
Please. Please. I can be on the bottom. Can I please be part of that?
Yeah.
It means so much to me.
It would mean so much to me. Please. I would just like to be a part of this. I'll be on the bottom.
Oh my gosh.
I can be on the bottom.
Oh my gosh. I freaking love this woman. This woman. Like I can be on the bottom, and then she also says like it's okay if not. It's
No, this is the funniest part to me. Is that she does this, and they don't even deny that they're a group.
like Tucker was like, well, how about it? Should we name it?
Kimo says, "Well, we're looking out for you." She goes, please, I want to be a part of you, though. I want to be a part of you. Hold on.
I want to be a part of you. I can be on the bottom.
And Tucker's like, well, we do need people. And Tucker like makes a token effort. He's like, well, we could come up with something and maybe make it official if we need to. And just like, come on, guys. I know you probably already have something. Just make me part of it, please.
Like,
And Tucker's like, I mean, yeah, the more numbers, the better, right? And they're like,
like it's so hilarious. Like the way that Angela moves in this game and the way she acts, it is the funniest things. Especially considering like the first week she denied every alliance because she thought it was a lie. Like Angela could be a part of this majority alliance running the house, and now she's like, I will be on the bottom of this alliance that everyone wants out, minus you, Tor and Kimo. But Tucker, everyone wants you gone. Same as you, Rubina. I'll be your bottom. I'll be your bottom. I'll be your.
I can be on the bottom.
I love her.
It's like somebody coming up to like a group of friends and being like, guys, I know you don't like, I know I'm not really cool enough to hang out with you, but like, would you please hang out with me? And then them being like, I mean, we could maybe hang out. Like, instead of them being like, what do you mean? No, we're not too cool for you. They're like, I mean, that is true. We are a group and you're not a part of us. But I mean, like, you get to watch us hang out. Like, is that not like, no, I just want to be, I'll be like, I'll be your designated driver. I'll I'll do chores for you. I'll do your homework. Like, I swear, I just want to be part of your group. And they're like, but then one of them is like, guys, come on, she'll do our homework. And they're like, Tucker, stop.
Because and they recognize this too. Like Angela is the best person because she's only has two modes: watching you from afar or being crazy. And when she's crazy, it's the best type of crazy, the best type of unhinged. Like truly.
I can be on the bottom.
All right, so Tor and Kimo, as we mentioned, they talk for a while. We're gonna skip over most of it, of course, but they mentioned, hey, guess what? Guess what, AJ?
Hit me.
They want to talk to Quinn.
Oh my god.
They want to tell him about Leah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. It's a wild idea.
That's crazy.
It's possible they talked about doing this on Thursday. It is possible. But hey, it's Monday now, or it was Monday.
Like this is a
hey,
new
they're
day.
gonna do it now. They're gonna do it. It's gonna happen.
Like it's a new day, new energy. The nom's already set. Leah's not on the block. Quinn doesn't have power anymore. You know what? I'm feeling this energy. Now's the time. Now's the actual time. Pause. Let me tell you something. Tor, Kimo, you're bad friends. End of story. Like, because you're like, as a person, like Quinn should have taken this, and y'all just sitting here letting him take it. Like, y'all would not be my friends. Like at this point in time, because y'all were actively making me look like an idiot to all of America, to every single person in America. It's like, damn, that boy's foolish, and y'all just letting it happen. Like, what?
Well, luckily now they are committed. They're going to do it. And what do you know?
What?
Quinn shows up.
Oh my god.
Here we go.
They're going to do it.
They didn't tell him.
What? I thought they said they were.
No, they didn't tell him.
Snap.
But after they talk to Quinn, they say, we definitely need to tell him. We'll do it tomorrow.
I feel like you said this exact sentence like yesterday, or maybe the day before yesterday. Like, sweet baby Jesus.
Well, hey, listen, the plan is Tor is going to tell him tomorrow, which is today. So I am sure that tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, I will be here to update you on the conversation where Tor finally tells Quinn about Leah now that it's too late for him to do anything about it.
Correct. Honestly, I'm going to be 5-star feeds, Taran. Like, I'm so ready. Like, T-Core's on my feed. I'm glued. I'm waiting for it.
The slightly more relevant part of this, at least for now, is that in general, they do have, they have sort of agreed to, they believed Chelsea's anti-Leah rhetoric. And they do want to target Leah. They feel like targeting Leah is a great option for them because they've heard that Tucker wants to nominate Quinn, Leah, and Cam. And if they can focus Tucker on like Leah and Cam, then that's great for them. And so in lieu of that, or not in lieu of that, but like in response to that, when Tucker shows up, Kimo talks to him and alludes to, hey, I think there's a big alliance in this house, and hints that he thinks Leah is in it. And so he has started to like, he has started the anti-Leah campaign to Tucker.
I think that's fair. Leah should be going this week, but you know what? Why not next week? I think next week is as better of a time, if not this week, to do it. Leah's not good for your game. Leah's doing her own thing. Sure, why not? Can I ask? I got a question though. Why are they so anti the collective that they're in? Like they hate the collective so much. They hate it with their entire heart and soul. When it's like actively good for them. Like, these are people that are not targeting them, but they just so badly wants to burn them and like try to do something against them. And if you can be like, oh, they're on the bottom X, Y, and Z because of the 5, they know. You know about the 5 because someone's not loyal to the 5. That means you, Quinn, and Kimo, like, y'all are together. And guess who also in that 5? Joseph, who has a good relationship with Quinn. So that means you're 4 of 4. That means at worst case scenario, we can get down to 8. You shouldn't get down to 8, but you can get down to 8 and then duke it out. But guess what? You also have a good relationship with Rubina. You also have a good relationship with Tucker. So they could be your side pieces. Why do you want to blow it up?
I mean, like, it does need to happen eventually, but like I think that losing MJ and Leah are amazing for them. Yeah, if they could pull in MJ or Leah if they wanted, pull them away from Chelsea and Brooklyn, and then strike if that's what they wanted to do.
Wait, pause. Can I say the dumbest part about it? They hate the alliance, but they want to bring Chelsea and Brooklyn.
That's the problem. That's what I was saying too. Which is that, like, they want, it's sort of like how if like the when Donnie wanted to go against the bomb squad, right? Like, he was like, that I don't want the bomb squad to run the game. And so then in response, he makes an alliance with Derek. Right? Like, that's the equivalent. And it's like, why would you go to the people who benefit the most from this structure if you want the structure to falter? Like, it's good to be in with them, and that's what Quinn advised for them. Like, be in good with these people. Don't tell them your plans. Don't bring them into your counter alliance. Don't be like, all right, we're gonna gather the numbers to take down the power now. Who's in charge of the power? We need their help.
Because truthfully, full stop, in the story, like, they're like, we topple the power if we take out Cam. Like Cam, of all people, who's actively doing nothing. I was taking notes today, and I was like, oh, I shouldn't write C for Cedric, because what if it's about Cam? I was like, I ain't writing none about Cam. What am I talking about?
I do think Cam is a great target for them. I will say this, because here's the thing. I think that they're in a position where the power, Brooklyn and Chelsea, are a bit too passive themselves. They're more active than Tor and Kimo. But
Actively.
I think a bit too passive. And so because of that, they're allowing their own numbers to go away. So taking out somebody like MJ,
Mhm.
Chelsea and Brooklyn are like, whatever. I think
That's
that
good.
Chelsea and Brooklyn might also be willing to give up Cam
Yes.
because they don't really like him either. And so if you can kind of just quietly start taking out these pieces that they're willing to give up, all of a sudden the power starts flipping in your direction.
Mhm.
And then you have them in a spot where they need to flip on you.
Mhm.
But where are their pieces to do so? They don't have them anymore. So I do think that's not the worst plan in the world, but it's just again, it's just still all talk.
It's no, it's all talk, and like I think Cam going, they would be okay with doing that. But the reason they're okay with doing that is because they have like other ways to maneuver in this game. Like you need to like you said, like, you need to block them out of other options. And I don't see them doing it. Like I see them being like, okay, now this person's gone. Okay, now I'm done. When that's not the end goal. The end goal is to be like put yourself in the best position and take away their positioning. Talk to me.
AJ, the amount of times that I hear them, like, okay,
Hit me.
3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we were like the visionaries. They're talking about putting together a group
Mhm.
to run this game.
Mhm.
We were like, they're taking a little long though. They keep talking like, what is your ideal group? Should we have this person? Should we have this person? What about this group? What
Mhm.
about no, wait. What about this group? No, what
Mhm.
about Tucker and Rubina with Joseph? No, without Joseph, with Chelsea. No, maybe Brooklyn. Maybe Chelsea and Brooklyn. Maybe no Tucker. Maybe Joseph, Chelsea, Brooklyn. And they couldn't lock in a group. That was roughly 3 weeks ago. 8:28. Kimo and T-Core.
Mhm.
So I think probably our ideal group would be us, Chelsea, Brooklyn, Rubina, maybe. Well, what about Tucker?
Mm.
But what should we have? They're still doing this. How?
I made no progress. Like you're telling me within these 3 weeks, you have not been able to solidify. Like, okay, this is what I actually feel great about. So let's move forward in this. Let's put
I'm
something
never
together.
going to a restaurant with these people. They're never going to order the food. They're going to be like, well, oh, I kind of want this one on the menu, but what about this one? It's just never we're going to be there forever.
Forever. Like, you're going to be sipping on waters for the entire night, and they're going to be like, sir, we're closed. Y'all gotta go. The kitchen's closed.
And then somebody like Tucker will just be like, listen, I'll order for them. And he'll order food for them. They won't touch it. They'll still be looking at the menu. Like, this is fine, but like, we're still kind of looking.
It's so foolish. It's so frustrating. Like, and like the reason why it's frustrating is because they had so much promise. I had so much faith in them, and they're just floundering it. Like T-Core, I know you're smart. Kimo, I know you're smart. Take away your crush. I know you're usually smart. So like, do something about it.
Yeah. Oh boy. All right. AJ, anything else you want to bring up from yesterday?
I do want to bring up one thing that's more serious and more upsetting. I understand y'all have already talked about and links in this podcast network about the frustration of losing the flashback feature, the lack of protection they have, and like going away from like confrontations and stuff like that, or conversations about race, right? And yesterday I was watching Chelsea because I'll be honest, I love watching Chelsea on the feeds. Like that's my favorite person because she, she's always animated. Like she was praying yesterday, and it was the most out of pocket prayer I ever saw in my life. But then Chelsea was like talking about Leah, about how she doesn't get a pass from cookout, and then like they immediately cut the fees. I was like, Chelsea wasn't about to say anything like that serious or that crazy or out of pocket. Like, why'd you have to cut it out for there? And then later they were talking about, I think it was like Rubina and T-Core was talking about Coco and turning red. And they were talking about how like their past and heritage played and stuff a fact into, and the family played a large role in the movies themselves. And then I think Chelsea brought up, yeah, it's like how Black people in America, they don't know their heritage because of, and then they cut the feeds. And it's like so frustrating because like my favorite parts of Big Brother All Stars too. because there wasn't a lot to like. It was like the case of conversations about race and stuff, the Davon conversations about race stuff, and now we're at a point where it's like, sure, you don't want the controversy of talking about like fights and stuff like that, or accusing someone as being like racist and stuff like that, but now y'all are at the point where it's like you're just blocking people talking about their history, about their lived experiences, about their heritage, and it's like, it's at the point now where it's like not just frustrating. It, like as a Black person, it hurts. It's like basically you telling me like, yo, your story is not valued. You do not have any worth to us. Like it's not even like they're cutting it for the episodes. They're cutting it for the feed. Like your story, your purpose, your history, it's not interesting. It's not important. I don't want to talk about it. And it just like makes it icky, makes it like so gross to me as a person. So it's like, I want Big Brother producers to like do better. Like you don't want the backlash. Like hiding the fact that race exists is not helping nobody. Like full stop.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And you know, because I think that there's and I think it's like well intentioned, but like there's been some talk about like this season. It's been nice because there haven't been a lot of like problematic things happening. There aren't like people that we are like really frustrated with. And I do agree with that. But while we've been talking about that, in the back of my mind, I have been thinking like, but is this real? Like, because we're not seeing a lot of things. And I think that, and again, I do agree with that sentiment, but like, I think at the same time, the producers at least might be going too far in that direction, because I don't think that, and again, I don't think this is what is being said, but I think maybe just as a point of clarification, I don't think that we, the audience, or at least we, the audience, want it to be like race or discussion or any kind of controversial topic to be erased from the feeds.
Correct.
It's a thing that exists. It should be there. And it would be nice if there weren't people that were racist or doing bad things, but also we can have these talking points. And that was kind of the whole thing with Angela, was like, it's okay. We can talk about these things. Like it can be there. It can exist.
It can exist. It happens. Like not like one of my favorite people in the world. Like I've had so many conversations about race and like the importance of it and like what is good, what's bad, X, Y, and Z. Like we all stick our foot in our mouth sometimes, and like it's okay. We use that. We learn. We grow from it. Like, and I personally don't need to have to hear the conversation about like, about Black people and not knowing like truly where they came from, because I've had that conversation a million times. But it's still like, why is that conversation not valued in your eyes? Why do you want to hide that? Because let me tell you something, Tara. I still be seeing comments that's like, oh, guess what? They're rigging this season for the Black people. Like like the conversation is still happening. Like just because y'all ain't showing it does not mean like it's ignoring the conversation happening on the outside world. Like you ignoring it is doing absolutely nothing except for like infuriating people in my book.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Well said, AJ.
Yeah. All
right.
But besides me being heated this episode, I love this cast. This is fun. Yesterday actually wasn't, because I know what they can bring and what they can give.
Listen, BB26, we're not mad, we're just disappointed.
We're just disappointed.
You're just not living up to your potential. You know?
Come on.
You gotta like take some chances.
Yeah.
Get out of the house a little bit. You know what I mean? Did you apply for that job? Did you tell Quinn yet? I know you haven't.
Yes.
I watched you in that room all day.
All day. All right. But that's it. That's all I have.
All right. Well, that's what we have for you then today. Again, I will be back tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, to update on everything that happens today on the Big Brother 26 live feeds. We'll be live tonight. I will be on Twitch watching tonight's episode. And then, of course, we'll be live after the episode with the recap of the recap. I believe Josh Wiggler will be joining us.
Ooh!
Should be very. He'll be recapped.
That's exciting.
And ready for the recap. So tune in for that. Tomorrow night, of course, Wednesday episode, Thursday episode. It'll keep coming. But in general, just find me over there on Twitch. AJ, what do you got going on?
I ain't got too much going on. If you want to see what I'm up to, you can follow me on Twitter at @DuckKidNorris. I repost any podcast that I'm doing. I will also go subscribe to the Ascendance YouTube channel. Fun things are happening over there.
All right. Well, that is what we have for you then. Thank you all so much for joining us here today. And I will see all of you next time.
I can get on the ball.